In seemingly tranquil rivers, all signs of danger are hidden beneath the surface. Crocodiles don't move hastily, but always maintain their position, waiting for the right moment to launch an attack from very close range. The attack is swift, direct, and eliminates all distance before the prey can adjust. And from that moment, the chain of events begins, leading to each recorded encounter. In a pack hunting environment, wild dogs maintain an advantage through coordination and rapid information sharing within the pack. They constantly observe and adjust their position to maintain a safe distance when moving near water sources. When the pack's support mechanism is activated in time, the risk is significantly reduced. Approaching the water's edge, the observation period can be interrupted. The water surface remains calm, with no obvious signs of danger. Crocodiles lie low, motionless, and very close to the passage. When a wild dog enters close range, the crocodile accelerates suddenly over a short distance and approaches directly. This moment occurs before the pack can react simultaneously. Immediately after being restrained, the pack's support efforts are not activated in time. The water space does not allow for maintaining distance or creating a foothold. The crocodile drags the prey down and maintains control. The outcome is determined quickly. The decisive factors were surprise and precise ambush placement. During large-scale migrations, wildebeest rely on numbers and group movement to reduce risk from predators. They approach the water's edge in waves, stopping to observe and adjust their position before entering the water. By maintaining formation and distance, the risk is dispersed within the group. However, once in the water, their ability to control the situation is significantly reduced. The water's surface remains calm, with no clear signs of danger below. Crocodiles lie low, maintaining precise ambush positions and waiting for the right moment. When a wildebeest comes within close range, the crocodile accelerates rapidly and approaches unexpectedly. The distance is shortened before the prey can change direction. The moment of approach occurs within the first few seconds, before the wildebeest reaches a stable rhythm. The entire group immediately moves away, not providing support for the captured individual. The crocodile drags the prey into the water, where it controls the environment. The outcome is determined early on, when the prey is no longer at a safe distance. As soon as the situation changes, the deciding factor lies in the ambush location and the degree of surprise. In the water, the crocodile maintains the advantage of control. When approached at close range, the wildebeest doesn't have enough time to adjust. The outcome is decided at the moment of initial contact. In the open environment, the cheetah relies on speed and the ability to accelerate over short distances for survival. On land, it controls its direction and maintains a safe distance from the threat. Speed allows it to close or widen the distance depending on the situation. However, this advantage is not maintained when approaching water. At the water's edge, the crocodile maintains a low position and makes no noticeable movements. When the cheetah lowers its head to drink, the distance narrows without warning. The crocodile accelerates over a very short distance and approaches directly. The moment of contact occurs before the prey has time to raise its head and adjust its posture. As soon as it is caught, the cheetah tries to struggle and change direction to escape. However, the water environment does not provide leverage to maintain its momentum. The crocodile pulls the prey down and maintains its control. The outcome is determined quickly, almost in the first second of contact. In riverside areas, lions maintain a hunting style based on observation and timing. They hold their position, monitor their opponent's reaction, and control their distance before approaching. Group coordination allows them to approach from multiple directions without moving hastily. This approach often provides an advantage when the opponent leaves the suitable environment. At the water's edge, crocodiles keep their bodies low and restrict movement. A young lion approaches, causing the crocodile to react. The lioness moves in a circle to narrow the space, while another uses its paws to probe the reflexes. The crocodile quickly opens its jaws, forcing the lions to adjust their distance. Soon after, multiple lion prides join in, approaching from different directions and closing the distance step by step. The crocodile doesn't have time to turn around and control the entire situation on land. As pressure increases, it has to retreat towards the water. This shows that crocodiles cannot maintain their advantage when outside their familiar environment. From the state they have just formed, the decisive factors lie in timing and coordination. Once outside the water, the crocodile's control decreases significantly. When having to react from multiple directions simultaneously, the speed of reaction slows down. The outcome is determined when it can no longer maintain a stable reaction direction. During large-scale migrations, zebras maintain safety by moving in herds and keeping their distance from dangerous areas. They often stop to observe, adjust their position, and only enter the water when pressure from behind increases. This coordination reduces risk, but does not eliminate it entirely. Once in the water, their ability to control the environment is significantly reduced. The water surface remains stable, with no clear signs of danger below. Crocodiles lie low and maintain precise positions near the migration route. When a zebra descends, the crocodile accelerates in a very short distance and approaches directly. Its jaws clamp onto the neck, creating an initial advantage. Immediately after being caught, the zebra reacts rapidly by twisting its body and using its hind legs to generate thrust. These successive kicks and maneuvers dislodge the crocodile's jaws. The resulting resistance prevents the crocodile from maintaining control. The prey escaped and quickly moved towards the shore. In this situation, the deciding factor lies in the continuous reaction and the ability to maintain momentum. When the crocodile cannot turn in time, the advantage of control diminishes. When distance is re-established, the chance of escape increases significantly. The results show that not every approach leads to an immediate end. In areas near water sources, gazelles survive by relying on high speed and the ability to quickly change direction to escape danger. While maintaining distance, they can accelerate instantly and break away from the threat. Their keen observational reflexes help them detect movement from afar most of the time. As they approach the water's edge, the safe distance decreases rapidly and becomes difficult to control. The water's surface remains stable and shows no obvious signs of danger. The crocodile lies low, maintaining its position near the line of sight and waiting for the opportune moment. When the gazelle lowers its head and before it can change its posture, the crocodile accelerates in a very short burst and approaches head-on. The distance is eliminated in the first instant. As soon as it is caught, the gazelle reacts by struggling and using its hind legs to generate force. Its movement is interrupted, and it quickly loses balance. The crocodile drags its prey underwater, where it maintains control. The outcome is determined quickly, once the prey is no longer able to create distance. In riparian environments, elephants maintain safety through herd structure and constant monitoring among adult individuals. They keep their distance from the water's edge and move in an orderly fashion to protect their young. When the formation is stable, the risk is significantly reduced. When there is a disruption in the formation, temporary gaps may appear. In shallow mud, crocodiles lie hidden and make no obvious signs. They maintain a position near the path of movement and wait for the opportune moment. When the elephant herd is disrupted during approach to water, the crocodile accelerates briefly and heads towards the vulnerable spot. The distance narrows before a collective response can form. Immediately after contact, the elephant herd begins to adjust its position to provide support. However, a synchronized response does not form quickly enough at the point of impact. The crocodile takes advantage of the water environment to maintain control for a short time. The results suggest that the approach focuses on structural gaps, regardless of direct power comparisons. Hyenas survive through experience, quick reflexes, and teamwork. They constantly observe and maintain a safe distance when approaching risky areas. This coordination allows them to quickly adjust their position when unusual signs appear. When facing water, they always have a clear escape route ready. At the water's edge, the crocodile remains hidden beneath the surface and makes no obvious signs. When a hyena approaches to drink, the crocodile accelerates briefly to get closer. This moment is quick, but not enough to completely eliminate the distance. The hyena detects the movement and retreats immediately, maintaining control. The encounter ends when both sides stop at a safe boundary. The crocodile does not leave the water and does not continue to approach. The hyena also does not venture further into the danger zone. This is a two-way risk assessment situation, where a timely reaction helps avoid falling into a disadvantageous position. When the benefits outweigh the risks, both parties stop. In every situation, crocodiles don't rely on sustained strength, but on location and timing to approach. Each appearance occurs within a very short distance, where prey doesn't have enough time to adjust. When the environment shifts to water, the advantage changes instantly, and the outcome is determined early. And in nature, it's not speed or strength that determines everything, but the ability to act at the right moment.
On the African savanna, the line between safety and danger is often just a few steps away. Beneath seemingly peaceful rivers, crocodiles lurk, waiting for the slightest misstep of their prey. Here, muscular strength, pack discipline, or years of experience can all be rendered useless in an instant. The following stories record moments when crocodiles and their environment together determine their fate. Lions are at the top of the predatory chain on the savanna. On dry land, they possess a powerful physique, rapid acceleration, and a clear psychological advantage. Many confrontations end quickly, simply with the appearance of a single adult. However, when approaching water, that order changes. An inexperienced lion stepping too close to the riverbank will cross the line where its familiar advantage no longer applies. Crocodiles don't actively seek confrontation with lions. The situation only arises when the distance narrows and environmental conditions become unfavorable. Everything happens in a matter of seconds. Deep water reduces the lion's mobility and reaction time, while the crocodile simply needs to lure its opponent into the water to gain the upper hand. Conversely, if dragged ashore, the crocodile's heavy body forces it to abandon its approach and return to its familiar environment. The encounter ends quickly, without a prolonged chase. In nature, strength is not absolute. Only when adapted to its living space does an advantage truly matter, and the boundaries of power are always determined by the environment. Zebras survive on the strength of their herd. On dry land, they maintain a steady rhythm of movement, react almost simultaneously, and rarely leave dangerous gaps. This safety comes from familiar movement patterns and consistently maintained collective discipline. But when the herd enters the river, that steady rhythm begins to crumble. The current makes each step unsteady, breaking the formation in moments. A young, slow individual is pushed out of the main current and falls into a narrow, deep space. Just below the surface, crocodiles react instantly to the unusual vibrations. A brief approach from below disorients the zebra, deviating from its safe trajectory. In this environment, Water erases familiar reflexes, rendering any attempt at escape disjointed. The encounter ended quickly. The zebra herd continued on its way, leaving behind an irreparably broken order. In nature, the environment is not merely a backdrop, but the decisive factor when collective strength loses its rhythm. Wild antelopes are the largest migratory herbivores on the African savanna. Each year, their journey of over 500 miles creates constant pressure on each individual. In the dense migration, individual rhythms gradually become diluted, and even a small deviation can become a survival risk. As the herd descends into the river, the biological balance immediately shifts. Deep water impairs body control, eliminates muscular advantages, and turns weight into a burden. Crocodiles don't seek out the weakest. They wait for individuals that lose their balance, moving out of sync in the turbulent current. The approach is swift and precise. The estimated bite force of 3,700 psi isn't intended to finish them off immediately, but to drag the prey into dangerous underwater space. Here, all familiar reflexes from land become ineffective. The migration continues, leaving behind an irreversible outcome. For the wildebeest, the surface water becomes an underwater hell. In nature, crocodiles are not chaotic destroyers, but rather regulators, forcing the population to pay the price for every deviation in the struggle for survival. African wild dogs are known for their rare collective coordination on the savanna. They move persistently, maintaining tight formations and clearly defined roles to control large spaces. Their strength lies not in individual dogs, but in the precisely maintained pack rhythm throughout each movement. As the pack approaches the water's edge, the familiar rhythm begins to change. The damp terrain and limited space reduce maneuverability. A young individual subtly separates from the pack, focusing on what lies ahead without noticing the unusual silence beneath the water's surface. The approach happens in a very short moment. The crocodile doesn't confront the entire pack, but waits for a single individual to lose their rhythm. When the advantage of speed and space is gone, the collective response doesn't have time to form. The encounter ended quickly. The river returned to calm, and the pack of wild dogs was forced to retreat and regroup. In nature, even the most effective collective tactics can become fragile when placed in the wrong environment. African buffaloes are large, heavy herbivores with a firm footing. Adult individuals move slowly but steadily, rarely losing their balance when approaching the water's edge. Crocodiles approach silently, but with an adult buffalo, its immense weight renders any attempt to drag it into the water ineffective. The buffalo's strength in this environment is beyond the crocodile's control. Only when a young buffalo strays from its protective circle does the situation change. Lighter and with less developed reflexes, this individual becomes a rare vulnerability for the crocodile to exploit. In the wild, crocodiles don't challenge strength, but rather take advantage of unprotected areas. Gazelles are symbols of speed and agility on the savanna. Their light bodies, quick reflexes, and ability to constantly change direction allow them to maintain a safe distance from most land threats. But all those advantages come to a halt when the gazelle approaches its watering point. With its head down, its vision is narrowed, its movements become erratic, and its acceleration is almost non-existent. Just below the water's surface, the crocodile locates its position through tiny vibrations. The approach takes place within a few feet, leaving no room for error. It all ends in a brief moment. The gazelle loses its familiar posture, unable to regain the necessary momentum to escape the danger zone. At the watering point, just one wrong posture is enough to lose all evolutionary advantage. The river quickly returned to its calm. On the savanna, survival depends not only on speed, but also on avoiding moments that force vigilance to be sacrificed for survival. Elephants rely on long-term memory and strong herd structures. Mature individuals lead the group with decades of accumulated experience, maintaining a tight formation even when navigating unpredictable environments like deep rivers. Their slow pace is always accompanied by silent vigilance. When the elephant herd wades into a strong current, the familiar order begins to feel strained. The flow causes the distance between individuals to widen momentarily. A young elephant slips, no longer within the herd's protective circle. From the mud at the bottom of the river, the crocodile takes advantage of this rare moment. The approach is swift in a space where size is no longer an absolute advantage. The collective reaction of the elephant herd doesn't have time to form before the situation is resolved. The river soon returned to its calm. In nature, even species that dominate through cohesion can be challenged when the environment tilts decisively toward the ambusher. Hippopotamuses are among the largest and heaviest animals that regularly inhabit African freshwater environments. With their massive bodies, thick skin, and high defensive reflexes, each adult individual is a mobile force in itself. In shallow water, the presence of a hippopotamus is enough to establish order around them. When a crocodile gets too close, the situation isn't predatory. It's a test of distance. The hippopotamus doesn't move, but holds its body like a living wall, blocking the approach. The pressure comes from size, stability, and territorial determination, not from pursuit. The crocodile quickly adjusts its behavior. There's no safe approach angle, no chance of drawing the opponent into control. The contact ends before escalation, and the crocodile retreats to deeper water. In nature, not every encounter leads to conflict. Against living walls like hippos, the instinct for survival is sometimes most clearly demonstrated through the decision to stop at the right moment. Through each encounter, the river appears not merely as a source of water, but as a harsh test of nature. The crocodiles don't need a long chase or a display of strength. They simply wait for the moment the environment sides with them. In the wild, the survivor isn't the strongest or most numerous species, but the one that understands the limits of its opponent and its own surroundings. When the water closes, any deviation leaves an irreversible price to pay.